listeners. Welcome to Plano's Political Pitbull podcast. I am Esther.
And I'm Ruth.
And today we are going to talk about some things that are going on in the Texas House and the upcoming City Council races. Now, the Texas House voted on the rules they will be abiding by for the 89th legislative session. A new rule that was added is that all the chairs of standing committees will be Republicans, or in the majority, and the vice chair shall be held by the minority, which are the Democrats. Now, this was something that the base really wanted. They were adamant that there are to be no more Democrat chairs. So you'd think that this would make them happy.
No.
It did not. No, because they found something to complain about. So the base doesn't like the fact that the Dems will be the vice chairs of the committees.
Oh, boy.
Well, this is something that goes on in Washington, D.C. The majority are the chairs, in this case the Republicans, and the minority get to be the vice chairs. They call them something different, but nevertheless, they are the second or vice chair.
I might be jumping the gun here, but it just kind of this kind of just sounds like to me, we don't want any Democrats involved in any of our decision making.
I got the feeling. That is the feeling I got. So now apparently up until this point, there were not necessarily vice chairs that were Democrats. You could have a chair that was a Republican and a vice chair that was a Republican, which I don't think that's very fair. But apparently that is how it was. And I guess on the flip side, you could have a Democrat chair and a Democrat vice chair. And I say the same thing. Not fair.
I bet they think it's fair.
So now it's at least balanced, right? You have chair is the Republican and the vice chair is the Democrat in this session because the Republicans have the majority.
Yeah, but Republicans ain't happy about that.
No, they're not, because
we want our monopoly.
Well, one reason they're not happy is that the vice chair can usher bills up to the committee. Now, obviously, the committee, which would have a majority of Republicans on it, could vote those bills down. One would imagine that if the Republicans have the majority, they would have the majority of the committee seats, and guess what? They could all vote to take up a bill, and they could all vote it down, or they could have hearings on the bill, and they could vote it down. So it's not like these bills are going to get very far if they're really, really terrible bills.
It's not about that, though.
You don't think?
Well, like you said, they have the majority, so why do they care so much if the vice chair is a Democrat? It's not about that.
I think it's because of the fact that the vice chair now gets to put bills in front of the committee, which, again, the committee could vote it down. It's not a great big power like some all kind of consuming power that, they're going to have something terrible that they're going to pass.
If there's a vice chair, then there is a head chair.
There's a chair, yes.
So what does the chair do? Because the vice chair's a step down.
Yeah, he runs the committee. So he puts bills forward too. The The other thing that the vice chair can do is they can invite witnesses to testify in front of the House committee, which the chair can do too. And by the way, you've got loads of people who come up to testify for and against bills all the time. So to me, this is like, what are you complaining about?
Guys, we have to be a little fair.
I mean,
we have to be fair here. This is not, again, they want their monopoly.
They do this. If there's a bill that the Democrats absolutely positively hate, they rally the troops. They get people to come and testify. Normally, they're right in the middle of Austin, so they don't have a far trip, okay, or around the Austin area, and they come and they testify against the bill. And guess what? The Republicans, they get people to come down and testify for the bills, and vice versa, okay? Now, the one thing that was added that was also not liked was now we have subcommittees. And the subcommittees can be chaired by Democrats or Republicans.
Okay.
But in the end, the ban, which is what the grassroots said they wanted, did get passed. To me, it sounds like the minority that the majority here, or the Republicans, are just finding things to complain about because I think you're right. They want a monopoly here.
If it were up to them, they would want no Democrats to be even voted in.
Well, that is true. I mean, that's
but that's never going to happen.
No, that is never going to happen. We're always going to have a mix of Republicans and Democrats. Which way it's going to lean is up to the voters. But you're always going to have a majority and a minority. And to me, you've got to give the minority some kind of fairness.
Otherwise, why are they there? Why did the people vote for them if they can't do anything?
Right. That is what our founders and framers wanted. We are not a democracy. And I hate when people say we are a democracy. It drives me crazy because in the Constitution, nowhere does it say that. We are a constitutional republic. We vote in representatives. But the majority cannot just totally usurp the rights of a minority. And in true democracies, that's what can happen, which is why we are not a democracy. I think it was...
the whole reason why the Electoral College was made.
Mm-hmm.
2, why we have both the House and the Senate, which the Senate is everyone has an equal amount of senators, and the House is based on population. It, balances out that way.
Yes.
So that everyone has a voice.
On the federal level, yes.
Yes. I'm like,
yes.
Everyone knows the federal level, so I'm
yes.
explaining it in those terms.
On the state level, it does mimic that. Each Senate district only gets one senator, not 2, as in the state.
States.
As in the federal branch. But yes, it's each district is represented. Would you like to hazard a guess how many bills have been filed as of today? I double-checked this. 2,192 bills so far. That number will go up, okay? They have been filed for this legislative session, obviously all of them are not going to get done. All of them, most of them will not even see a committee. Most of them will not get a hearing, and most of them will not even get a vote, which is a good thing. Mark Twain said, a man's liberty and wallet are never safe when the legislature is in session. I'm paraphrasing him, but that is the gist of it. And he was right. So that is one reason why we do not have a legislature that is there all year round. Thank goodness.
There are negatives to it, though.
Yes, well, one of the negatives is that they are a little rushed.
One, you can delay whatever you want to delay.
Mm-hmm.
Two, everyone's trying to make their legacy, or so to speak. They're trying to do something great, and so they're trying to put out as many bills as possible, and it's just like a race to the finish.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. The legislature has an legislator online type thing website, and now you go there and you can look up all bills and read all the bills, that all 2,000 so far, and what stage they're in. Well, so far there are 55 bills just about the border, and there are 3 bills on the power grid. There are 17 or so bills on taxpayer-funded lobbying, or lobbying in general.
Why are there so many bills on just one topic?
Well, you have, obviously the border is on everybody's mind. And so that's what's going to get the most write-ups. Now, I would think that maybe the Republicans could get together and, kind of condense these things. I think the Democrats should do that too. Really, you don't need 55 bills on the border. You need one.
Yeah,
very good one.
Especially when you have a limited time. Let's not waste our time with a bunch of bills on the same topic.
I would think that. It's interesting, I find that there are only 3 bills so far on the power grid, which Texas is running out of power and we're running out of water. And if we don't do something about those 2, we are in deep trouble. Very, very bad trouble. So,
see where the priorities are?
Yeah. And people are not stopping coming here. And they're going to want power and they're going to want water. But again, you only need one good one.
Yeah, but it's going to take a long time to sift through all the other ones.
Yeah. Well, the good news is on the power grid, there's only 3 so far.
Will they get to them?
True, out of the 2,000, maybe.
It doesn't seem to be their first priority, given there's 55 on the border and 17 on the
taxpayer-funded lobbying / lobbying in general.
The power grid is not their first priority.
Yeah, that's strange. I would think they would want power. Unless maybe they did do a smart thing and say, okay, Bob Hall, you work on Senator Hall, you work on a nice, good power bill for the grid, and we'll move it along.
I think you're giving them too much credit.
Well, one of these could be a Senate bill, and one of these could be a House bill. Out of the 3, this is
and the 55 and 17. What are those?
They could be a mix of either House or Senate or both. So we're very early in the session. Okay, bills are still coming in. All right, committee hearings haven't even started, and so when we get more info, we're going to update you on some of the hearings. It's the bills that get out of committee, the bills that get to the floor, and
Gills?
bills that get to the floor, and that pass. Now, back to Plano. We have city council races. Okay, in Plano, our elected officials locally get elected in May, specifically May 5th. So far, no one is listed on the Plano City website as filed to run for city council. The last day to file is February 14th. Should be an easy day to remember, Valentine's Day. Election day, as I said, is May 5th. Now, even though no one has turned in a packet, we know who intends to run, because if you've been driving around, you've noticed that there are signs up. Some people have Facebook pages and websites for their campaigns. So I have compiled the names of those so far who we know are very much intending to file their packets and run. So for place 2, Anthony Riccadelli is termed out. We have so far Douglas Reeves and Bob Kerr. I believe that's how it's pronounced, Kehr. Doug has a website, saveplanonow.com. I took a brief look at it. He mostly speaks right now about HUD money and the strings attached to it that we take.
What's HUD money?
So HUD money is money from the federal government. It's the Housing and Urban Development Department. And they will give money for low-income housing to cities and states. And Plano takes that money. But obviously, whenever you take federal money, there's a cost to it, and there are strings attached. Okay? Haven't read thoroughly his website yet, so all just preliminary here. As for Bob, his website is bobforplano.org. And I quickly skimmed that, delved deeper. He speaks of wanting more economic development, which if you have listened to this show before, you know we do not like giving money to companies. But again, all preliminary here, so...
Wait, he's for economic development?
Yeah, and wants more of it.
Oh.
These websites are pretty much new. More issues will be put on them, so we'll wait and see what else. Place 4 is Cody Weaver. Now, Cody Weaver, he was a PISD Board of Trustee for a time, and now he has decided to step up and run for city council. Place 4, that is Casey Prince's seat. Casey is turned out. And you have, against Cody, we have Chris Downs. And she, if you recognize the name, that is because she is the wife of David Downs, who was on the city council and who was on planning and zoning. And other than being David Downs' wife, she, from what I could find, was on the Cultural Arts Commission. She has a Facebook page. She also has a website, chrisforplano.com. Cody also has a Facebook page and a website. Place 6, we have...
What's his website?
I did not get it. But if you Google Cody Weaver, you'll find his website. Okay?
Oh.
You can also find him on Facebook, which will have his website there.
True.
Okay. I will put up all of the websites for all of the candidates when we get the final list of candidates. Okay. And then you can go to their websites through planospoliticalpitbull.com. Now, place 6 is the mayor's seat. Obviously, John Munns is running again. And so far, there have been no signs, no Facebook page, nobody running against him, except somebody filed a treasurer's application.
What does that mean?
Okay, so when you're running for office, you have to have a treasurer on file. This is the person who will basically collect your campaign donations and, most importantly, write the Texas Ethics Commission reports that will go to the state. Because you're dealing with donations, you're dealing with campaign funds, there's going to be a lot of red tape and a lot of forms you have to fill out quarterly. So you need to hire a treasurer or, well, have somebody volunteer to be it. This is a job I would never want to do. So a man by the name of Jason Huber filed for an application to have a treasurer, and the position he said he was running for was mayor of Plano. That's all I've seen. I have not found anything out about this person. Don't know if he's going to actually run. Just because you file for a treasurer's application doesn't necessarily mean you're going to run. But it's the first start. Our last place is place 8, Rick Smith's place. He is termed out. So we have Hayden Pageant and Vidal. I'm going to butcher this. And
Quintanilla?
Yeah.
No, that can't be right.
Quintanilla?
I feel like we're butchering this.
We probably are. Quintannilla. However you pronounce that. Vidal. So they're running against each other so far. Now, Hayden Pageant, there's a lot out there about him. He is the current chair of the National Young Republicans. He was the state chair for the Texas Young Republicans. He was a precinct chair for the Republican Party. He was their parliamentarian for a time. If you are in the Republican Party, you know Hayden, okay? He actually spoke at the Republican Convention National in 2024. Clearly he's a Republican, okay?
It sounds like it.
Yeah. Nice looking guy, nice looking family, has lived in Plano for a long time. He's got a Facebook page. I'm not sure if he has a website yet, but he's still tweaking his Facebook page. We'll find out more about what the issues are for him. Vidal, don't know much about him. He's got a Facebook page. He appeared to have been on some kind of board and commission. I know Hayden was also on boards and commissions for Plano as well. And we'll see what happens in that race. We'll find out more information. We are still so early in this process.
These guys aren't even confirmed.
No, they're not filed, but they are pretty much setting up everything they would need before they file. All right?
So you're just theorizing that
Well, if
or
you have
making your best guess that these are they're probably running.
If you have a sign up, okay, which majority of these folks have signs up.
Okay.
Signs are very expensive. So you intend to run, okay? If you have a website and a Facebook page, you're probably going to run. And most likely, I think they do this before they file to let other people know, hey, I'm running. If you're thinking about running, we've already got 2 people in every place. Let's try to avoid a runoff would be my thinking of what they're doing, and, getting their name out there. Somebody who sticks a sign out there now is going to be behind the 8 ball. The faster you can get your name out there, the better. It also kind of wards off people who are on the fence. Like I said, we're very early into this. We will, when people are confirmed, and they are officially a candidate, we will put up their website, the link to their websites on planospoliticalpitbull.com. And we'll talk more about them. There are going to be forums. There's going to be more info on their websites. There's going to be more issues to talk about. Who knows? Maybe we can even invite these folks on with us and see if they want to answer our questions. Specifically, we will have a lot of questions on economic development and economics, because that is in our wheelhouse. But we shall see. Nothing is set in stone yet. All right, we have a new pit bull to highlight. Well, our new pit bull's name is Spot, and he is an adorable 4-year-old who is a VIP over at Plano Shelter. And apparently, according to his bio, he loves belly rubs.
Aww.
All right. If you'd like to find out more about Spot, please go to our website, planospoliticalpitbull.com, and you can hit the link Pit Bulls Up for Adoption and see Spot. I think I remembered most of the highlights on him.
Mm-hmm. I do have one question.
Yes.
You said VIP. Wouldn't it technically be VID? For a very important dog, because he's not person.
That is true. But that is what his bio said. His bio said he was a VIP. But yeah, it should be VID. Very important dog. I have to point that out to the Plano Animal Shelter, which I assumed wrote the bio. That is going to be a wrap for us. This is Esther
and Mrs. Ruth
for Plano's Political Pitbull, signing off.